The Fox Texas trio is back to talk about our interview regarding recent developments in the border crisis. Lieutenant Christopher Olivarez said there's about 5,000 to 6,000 crossings a day. He also provided me a report showing that as of the middle of August, there's been about 420,000 illegal immigrant apprehensions in the state of Texas. That's significantly lower than the numbers for July and June, but the total number for the year, that's expected to exceed 1 million. So, Stephen, do the August numbers indicate something's working, or is it just the summer heat?
I think it's the summer heat and probably a lot of other factors. You have to keep in mind these numbers, they're going to come in waves. There's going to be peaks and there's going to be plateaus. Right now, maybe things are leveling off a bit. You also have to put in context the information from the other side of the border of people knowing that the buoy barrier is there, knowing about the razor wire. So there can be a host of other factors, not saying Operation Lone Star isn't working and they're not getting apprehensions, but the lower number could just be we're in a lull period in this wave.
Now, the DOJ has filed a federal lawsuit against the state of Texas and is trying to get a judge here in Austin to order the removal of Governor Abbott's border buoys. Greg, I think regardless of how the court rules, Abbott wins this PR fight, right?
Absolutely. Just like the loads of immigrants Governor Abbott has bused to Democrat-run cities across the nation, you won't find a single mainstream poll in this state indicating anywhere close to a majority of Texans oppose Abbott's border policies. And that includes the river barrier and concertina wire. On the contrary, now that crossings have begun to steadily rise in the post-Title 42 era, I believe sentiment in Texas against undocumented immigration will harden even further as pressure on housing, schools, law enforcement, and health care grows. And guys, there is absolutely zero near-term prospect of comprehensive immigration reform from Congress, which candidates like to talk about, but when elected simply can't or won't deliver.
Yeah, you know, Greg, I'd be really surprised if we see a border buoy system that's larger than what we're already seeing. And it really is small. It's almost like a roadblock on a street. So you just go down the block and go around it. Stephen, Congressman Castro and State Senator Roland Gutierrez, who is running for the U.S. Senate, tried to score some political points while on the border about those buoys. Did they do that beyond their base?
I mean, beyond the base, definitely not. This is definitely a partisan issue. Like Greg said, Governor Abbott scored some political points by putting the buoys in there. Democrats like Roland Gutierrez or whoever else goes down to the border on the Democrat side will score some political points on saying that this is inhumane in their words. So it's definitely partisan. It's definitely no one's going to see it as any progress as far as middle road, meeting in the middle. I don't think that's going to happen on this subject.
Greg, in the Republican presidential debate that happened Wednesday night, all the candidates pretty much promised to address the border. DeSantis even said that he'd essentially go to war with the cartel. No surprise there, but with the migrant busing and those constant border images being posted by the DPS coming out, maybe voters in swing states are starting to notice this issue. What do you think?
Rudy, the reality is you can sell the compassion for people seeking a better life argument right up until Americans feel the immigration wave is significantly diminishing their quality of life and sense of security. It's just human nature. We have all heard the arguments that Biden's permissiveness is unsustainable. Now, if that's accurate, the question becomes, when do folks in places like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin reach a tipping point? I'm not sure any of us can answer that, but consider this. In just the past 30 months, the number of people in our country has risen 2.5% from mostly undocumented immigration. That's more than the populations of Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin combined.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, and when those people start showing up, then you start getting into kind of, we talked about this earlier, state NIMBYism, right? All right, well, that is a wrap for now. You can see this interview or any of our past interviews by going to our YouTube pages.
And keep the conversation going by hitting us up on our social media pages.
The Texas Trio will be back next week as we discuss the upcoming impeachment of Attorney General Ken Paxton. And don't forget to let us know what you think the issue is.